Yes. Yes. Why is it so slow? Close. Do they have changed the flow? Fifine. Fifine tak ada. Fifine. Wait to restart. No, it's right there. 15. Okay. Default 15. 15. And we're done. Wait. I think I have to leave that on. It's on. Alright. Boom. That works.
Which is also really handy as well. So if I'm like moving around and I'm like, I want to look up, just hold down Alt and it'll just snap it there, which is really handy. So that's kind of the 3D viewport. We'll obviously get way more into this as we delve into the other lessons. But whilst we're here, these other sections over here. So on the right hand side,
At number 5, perspective. Let me grab a drink. AB cockroach in ridge. Between the humidity near the fans and the motor, the food crumbs that drops on the floor, your fridge is perfect house for cockroach infestation. That is terrible news.
this
No,
is
just
your
ignore.
properties. And as you can imagine, it's the properties of things in the 3D viewport or the scene. You can
Feels like
change render
water.
settings
Feels
or
like
things
water.
here. And
It
look,
is
there's a
water.
lot here. Like I would strongly recommend not trying to learn all the values because you're not going to remember them anyway. We'll go through them as they're needed in this tutorial
The
series.
challenge.
I think the best way to learn is to just do for something that you need to do. So that's what I try to teach.
I see.
These options, some of these options will change depending on what is selected. So like if my camera is selected, you can see I get a camera icon, and then I could change some camera.
an open bag here. Semi-open bag. It's okay.
Camera settings. If my cube is selected, I get some material settings, right? I could click material, and I could change the color to red, and I could see a beautiful gray red color. It's a weird looking red. The reason it's not changing over here in the 3D viewport is because, again, this is a simplified view of the final render. So there's no material properties in this view. We'll get to viewport rendering later on, but for now, you would see it though if you were in rendered, again, F12 to do an actual render. Now, at the top here, we have got a outliner. So this is keeping a running inventory of everything that you've got in your 3D viewport at the moment. So we've got 3 objects and we've got 1 collection. So a collection is just, it's like a folder, basically. Simple way to think of it. So you can like organize things. You can rename things just by double clicking on it. Yeah, whatever, right? And so that'll automatically update as you add things to the scene. Like if I was to duplicate my object, which I could do by hitting Shift D to duplicate, you can see there's created another object right up there in the outliner. So if I ever like lose something and I'm like, oh, where's that thing? I can just find it on here and then just, you know, bam, whoops, bam. Oh, by the way, I just accidentally tapped number pad 0, which is how you can look through the camera view. You could also do it by hitting the little camera icon on the right there, or by going viewport, camera, or by hitting the tilde key. So there are 4 places to get viewport options depending on what device or whatever it is that you're looking at. Yeah, I deleted something by hitting X. You could also do it by hitting delete. By the way, I'm throwing a lot of keys at you, keyboard shortcuts. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're starting. So I created a keyboard shortcut PDF, and the link for that is in the description. It's just a list. It's like 3 or 4 pages of the most common hotkeys that you'll need to learn, or you might need to reference as you're using Blender. So you can basically load it up on another monitor whilst you're working, and you've got it there as reference if you need it. I used to make it like a bonus for signing up for my newsletter, but now I'll just make it free. So you don't have to subscribe. You can just click that link, view it, and hopefully that'll make it easier to use Blender. You can still subscribe to my newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter on tutorials, artworks, and things that I find in the 3D industry. So if you want to keep up to date and learn new things, you can subscribe to that in the description as well. But that's it for this one, because we have covered quite a lot of ground. So we'll keep it simple. And yeah, open up a brand new scene in Blender. And then join me in part 2, which is where we'll actually start making that donut now that you've got the basics.
Yeah,
So we'll be learning about adding objects and modeling and all that kind of stuff. So click here on the screen, and I hope to see you in the next part. See you there.
It's done. Restream. I want the pin tab to be as like little as possible. That's it. There's this. Hey, ayo. Let me hear this. Okay. What was that? Yeah, I think I can voice it as like monsters.